Hello, you're listening to Reviewing History, your comedy history podcast. I'm filmmaker and teacher Brian Rupert, joined here by...
As always, Stephen Bagliacco.
And...
Anthony Galati. It's nice to see you all again.
What?
Oh, he rug pulled you guys, you
Curveball.
son of a bitches.
See, this is why you're not supposed to support him. He does things like this.
What did I do wrong?
What the fuck
know
did
what
I
you
do
did.
wrong?
I don't see what the hubbub is
He
about.
knows what he did.
You know.
He knows what he did.
All right.
Fine. Fine.
Look at him mugging to the camera, this son of a bitch.
I do?
Someone was trying to mouth along with the intro. And now, they're all fucked up.
What's happening, fellas?
Oh, nothing.
You
Not
know,
much.
Yeah.
Just hanging out.
down the street. The same old thing we did 2 minutes ago.
Oh, that 90s show. It's here again. It's got the guy.
Wait, is that what that's from?
Yeah.
Hanging
The
out.
theme song to that 70s
Down
show,
the
which is now
street.
that 90s show. And the whole cast is back, and everybody's real excited about it.
I watched it.
You did?
Yeah.
What'd you think?
You like them?
It's enjoyable.
You like it?
I gotta say, the humor is in line with the original.
You were a big fan of the original.
I don't love the original, but it was one of those shows where I like it, and whenever it was on, I would watch it.
Like it more than
And
Friends?
I've seen it. It's better than Friends.
You sure?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, it is.
It's better than Seinfeld?
It's
No.
like it's in like that Just Shoot Me level where it's like I never went out of my way to watch it, but I've seen like every episode.
I think Just Shoot Me's better.
Just Shoot Me is better, but I'm saying as far as like
I would like
the
one
way
of
I
you
feel
to,
about it.
I'd
You know.
like one of you to just shoot me in this conversation.
Well, you
All
hate
right,
sitcoms. Steve's modern TV guy. It has to be single camera, fake documentary shit.
I think Brian will agree with me wholeheartedly with
Sure.
this statement.
Yeah.
The 90s had the best sitcoms.
correct.
Steven, top 5 90s sitcoms. Go.
Fresh Prince,
Okay.
Full House.
You're an idiot.
Hold on, I'm not done. What's the one with Tim Allen?
Home Improvement.
Home Improvement.
That's a good one.
Dinosaurs,
Oh my God. You have the taste
which
of,
is just
of an imbecile.
Which is just Home Improvement with dinosaurs, right?
No, it's like isn't it
almost the same
Roseanne?
show.
If
Yeah,
I-
it's more like Roseanne.
Yeah. I don't think I'd put Roseanne on there.
You need one more.
I need one more. Frasier.
Frasier's good. Frasier's
Yeah.
funny.
There you go.
Wow.
You know, Frasier has an alternate name, Ambien, because whenever it comes on, I go the right to fuck to sleep.
You don't like Frasier?
No.
My wife's been playing Frasier as we go to bed.
Oh, I'm so exactly.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah.
Ambien is also the
it's really
other
It's really well written.
Ambien is also the other title for the Cosby Show now. That's how they repackage it.
So what's your top 5 since you
90s sitcoms?
Yeah, both of you. Let's see.
Well,
What do we got?
Seinfeld.
That's number
Obviously.
one.
Yeah. I Just Shoot Me is very good. Frasier's going to go on my list. I like The Nanny.
Nanny.
Nanny,
Okay.
I could respect.
Yeah,
That actually didn't pop in my head, but
Did I say Just Shoot Me?
Yeah.
yeah, you did. You said
Yes, dear.
Yes, Dear came a little later. I'm not going to put that in the 90s.
Okay.
Same with Raymond, although Raymond kind of is lame.
King of Queens.
that's
bad.
isn't
Oh,
that
I love King of
Isn't
Queens.
that 2000?
I think it's
Yeah.
2000s,
2000s.
90s.
That's-
Yeah.
I'll go with Roseanne. Roseanne's great.
Okay.
Okay, yeah. I think you need one more.
No.
So you had
No, we did this already. We've done it twice. How many times are we going to do the sitcom thing?
So he's probably going to be.
No, Brian's
same,
out. He doesn't
right?
get to give his 5.
He's out. All right, good.
I was just gonna say Seinfeld 5 times.
See what you get for supporting his ideas.
But that's not why we're here.
No, good transition.
Thank you. We're going to talk about the classical musics, the opera,
The opera.
high art, fine art,
Yes.
the peak of human civilization, some might say.
Some might say, "Wow, okay."
Amadeus, Mozart.
Amadeus. Oh,
Amadeus.
that's my problem with the movie.
You sing that?
No,
Falco?
anytime I hear Amadeus, in my head,
You hear Falco.
I hear Falco. Amadeus.
Do you like Der Kommissar too?
I don't know that one. Has that?
Don't turn around. Oh.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's Falco.
That's Falco.
Only his version was German.
So this was my pick,
Yeah.
and I guess I'll ask you guys first thoughts, experience.
Well, this is one of my favorite movies. It is I can confidently say this is one of the greatest films ever made. And I think a lot of people feel that way.
I didn't when I first saw it because I was in like 6th grade. I watched it again in like 7th,
And you haven't seen it since?
and I haven't seen it since. So I never really, in my case, I never really watched it until today, or until when I did. Watch
Every
it.
so often, I get the hankering to put this on, and I watch.
I wanted to watch it immediately after I ended it.
Again?
Yeah.
It's so good.
I have to agree with you. It might be one of the best movies ever made.
Yeah.
It's might be top 5,
It's
if not
stunningly beautiful to look at.
utterly insane.
The production is like one of the best ever.
Yeah, the depth.
The acting is stupendous,
It won so many awards.
and it's just a wonderful film all around. I think. What, Brian?
Get into it. Yeah.
I hated it.
It stinks.
Nobody likes operas.
Jay Sherman here. It stinks. No, I only ever saw Amadeus once before.
Oh my God!
This is only my
Long
second
time
time
ago?
watching it.
Long time ago, you saw it.
You showed it to me once.
You and I watched it together.
Yeah. And that was when I watched it. I
Probably
thought,
teenagers.
yeah, I thought it was great. Haven't seen it since. Watched it again. My opinion has not changed. It is a great movie.
Okay.
It's awesome. It's like it's so close to a perfect movie.
It's a perfect movie.
You know what I mean? But
It's
like,
perfect.
it's firing on all cylinders. Acting, production, design. It's everything you could like about movies.
Yeah.
In a movie. Like,
yeah.
I've never
I agree.
been as blown away by production in any other movie than the way I am with this one. It's the costumes and the set pieces
Crazy.
are so fucking crazy good. Like they can't be
The
topped.
story. Just the story.
The story's beautiful.
The story's
Yeah.
utterly insane compared
great.
to anything that we see nowadays.
And
you
there's-
don't get the depth like this because realistically,
And there's absolutely no action.
it's no action at all.
Yeah.
But this is an opera.
It's
You
just-
watched an opera,
it's just people talking and some like ballet.
Yeah.
and it's utterly brilliant. Everything about it. I was shocked. It actually made me feel bad that we don't have stuff like this anymore.
This just doesn't get made.
This would be a streaming
this
show.
is-
This would be a streaming series.
A series.
It'd be a 6-part
be
series about
horrible.
Mozart.
It'd be
so
that,
bad.
that Anya Taylor-Joy plays chess show.
Did you watch that?
No.
Is that a real
Me
show?
either.
Yeah.
People love it. I never saw it.
Yeah.
It's about a chess champion? Really?
She
Are you
plays
fucking with me?
chess. Supposedly, it's brilliant.
Yeah,
Hey, I mean, this
I
is
have
brilliant.
I have never heard a bad word about it. The
Yeah.
Queen's Gambit.
yeah.
But
I heard the
honestly, I just hear series and I'm automatically turned off.
Yeah.
I only have room in my life for one series.
What's that? Boardwalk Empire.
No, it's called Seinfeld. That features some classical music too. I think the Seinfeld theme is up there with like any Mozart.
Yeah,
bass.
that's just like
all
piano
bass.
concerto in C.
Yes. That's my boy Tom Wolfe.
Brain, what do you know about Milos Forman?
Milos Forman. So I know that our friend's father was in a trauma movie playing a character named Milos Forman, Forman, and he is named after the director in that movie. Milos Forman is a fantastic director.
What else did he do?
Cuckoo's Nest.
Oh, fuck.
Honestly, one of the greatest directors ever and is not spoken enough as highly as he should be. So let's take a look at his filmography real quick,
Sure.
just for the hits. And some of these we will be doing on here probably. Cuckoo's Nest we won't do.
Yeah.
Nice.
We've talked about it before.
Yep. The People vs. Larry Flint.
Okay.
A movie. I love that movie.
I've never seen it.
Yeah.
It's great. Man on the Moon.
In Like Flint. That's
Great.
my favorite movie.
Great.
Man on the
We
Moon.
could do Man on the
Oh,
Moon.
that's,
100% could do.
Andy Kaufman.
yeah. Jim Carrey.
We should do.
Okay.
He did hair.
shit, it's good.
Did hair and ragtime shit. We're not gonna watch.
Rag and Bone Man.
Rag and Bone Man. Hold up, is it a lie?
It's beautiful.
I'm only human
That was
after all.
You have the voice of an angel.
Thank you. Yeah, but Milos Forman is a fantastic director, and this was like perfection.
Yeah.
Like you do this in Cuckoo's Nest, you're like you don't need to do anything
you're
else.
Good.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
good. You get that Ford Coppola stat.
You
Yeah.
achieved it. You achieved perfection, which is hard to say for any modern film. But yeah, should we jump in? Should we do some background?
Yeah, okay.
So, realistically, the background is the start of the movie. You know,
Yeah.
he's a young kid, and apparently he's a genius composer. But it seems like his father's the one who's
Well, he's not the
training
one
him.
telling. Mozart is not the one telling the story. It's Salieri, right?
Yes, the story's about Salieri.
That's what's great about it. It's the story of someone told through their like rival.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Right off the bat, before anyone jumps down our throats, yes, we know it's not accurate.
No.
We know it's like,
What?
Only some of it is accurate.
It's taken from like kind of local folklore.
It's taken from rumor. From what so the whole movie's about Salieri killing Mozart, right?
Yes. Or he.
And by the way, they're pussies back then. When our musicians kill each other, usually it's in a gangbang shot in an elevator.
Right.
And then they make a song about it.
Right.
Make a
Who
whole-
shot you?
Who shot you? Yeah,
make a whole
they
career
taunt
out
you.
of Whole careers are made because of that. It's about Salieri in the beginning is saying, like, I killed you, and he believes he kills him. You don't really know in the beginning.
Mozart died in 1791. And from
Salieri
what
was alive, and I don't know if they know each other. I know
Oh,
they
yes.
might have
Yeah.
been. They were like
yes,
acquaintances,
yes,
but they weren't like friends.
We'll get a little deeper into it as we get through the movie.
Yeah.
But I'll just say this right at the beginning. Salieri, Mozart died in 1791. From what I understand, it was a bad streptococcus case. He had strep throat and he couldn't shake
It's
it.
not what I heard.
Towards the end of his life, right before he died, he said to his wife, as they were traveling through on a coach one day, I think I'm being poisoned. I can't figure out why I'm so sick. And she is the one that started the rumor that it was Salieri poisoning
interesting.
him. And
So she slandered this man.
she slandered this man at the time. Keep in mind, this is the time of the French Revolution and all that. This is before they could chopped off Louis' head, but
Yes.
you know, the people had already risen up 2 years earlier. There was a lot of nationalism going around, and a lot of that was German nationalism. And
Always scary when that pops up.
right. The people that controlled the Austrian music scene were Italians. And
We see that in the movie.
the
Yeah.
rumors really got out of
And because this is
control.
all part of the Holy Roman Empire.
Yeah. The people that like the people in the street would say like, oh yeah, the Italians, fuck them. They killed Mozart, you know. So it's-
Okay.
things keep going, and now it comes down to
Snowballed.
us today. You know,
What
and this
mafia?
movie really fucking amplifies it. Obviously, people watch this movie and they think it's fact.
Well, the movie
Yeah.
is also based on a play.
Yeah,
You know, the play was big and successful, and then the movie blew it up where everybody sees it.
Yeah.
You know, it's a massive hit.
And I believe modern archaeology would say, or medicine would say, that Mozart didn't die from strep.
Oh no.
No. There was a growth in his skull, apparently.
What?
Yeah. I briefly read this.
I didn't hear about this at
you
all.
can fact check me.
Okay.
But they think when he was drunk, he fell and he hit his head.
Maybe.
And
But he's
then-
definitely ill.
From then, it expanded, and that's what got him even more sick because his body's fighting off this thing, and one thing led to the other. So maybe the strep did kill him, but it wasn't the real underlying cause behind it.
Wow. All right. So
There was craniofacial
Yes.
dysmorphism in Mozart's skull, apparently.
Yeah.
I saw this fucking German guy just say flat out, yes, we know what killed him. It was streptococcus.
Nope. No, they didn't.
He lied to me.
He lied. He lied. Because they believe they found his remains and looked at it. And, Yeah.
Where are you guys at with classical music?
I think
Do you ever listen to it?
occasionally I'll throw it
Who's your
on.
favorite composer?
I mean, it's Mozart just because of the fucking movie. I'll be honest. It's not like I'm searching out classical composers, but I love this movie. I love the music in this movie. The soundtrack is obviously insanely good.
Yeah, it's great.
So yeah, every so often I'll throw on Don Giovanni. I'll put on the Magic Flute.
Okay.
You know, these things are very good.
Yeah.
Steven throws on the magic flute into his mouth when he's blowing you.
When you see,
Fantastic joke.
Wait, but Steve, real
Yeah.
quick, who's your favorite composer?
Toss up between Beethoven or Tchaikovsky.
Okay.
it's Tchaikovsky.
Tchaikovsky.
I'm a Vivaldi man.
Vivaldi.
I like Vivaldi.
You like Handel?
Not familiar.
No, yeah, he's up there too. Wagner? How about Wagner?
Wagner's not allowed in my house. But so
do you listen to classical?
I do listen to a lot of classical music.
You do?
Yeah. Especially now that like we're having the baby. Like
Classical baby.
a classical baby, yeah.
Yes.
Amadeus Rupert.
I think I
You
also
put the speaker like right up to your wife's.
I do.
Stomach.
full blast.
You do?
Full blast,
Yeah, I
right?
put
Make
the
her
music.
stand there.
Put it on 11.
So I play like
You
classical.
hear that? This is good stuff, ain't it?
I play classical music for the baby in the womb.
That's smart.
Really?
And like
You're
the
supposed
baby
to.
like moves around and stuff, and we were having like this special scan done the other day, and the woman was like, "Your baby like is not. We can't get it. Your baby needs to move." And I was like, "I got the thing to make my baby move." And I put on my baby's favorite song,
Which is?
"Ode to Joy,"
Wow.
and she started rocking out in the
Hell
womb.
yeah.
Dun, 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 dun.
I think I have
And-
a
and-
good appreciation for classical.
And one other thing, I found this out today. My baby has another favorite song. If she hears "Smells Like Teen Spirit," she goes ape shit.
Wow. She's a real.
that's good.
She's a grunger.
She's a Gen Xer.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's good. Raising them right already. No, I think I have an appreciation for classical because I did play classical instruments growing up.
Strings. Mr.
I
Blaine's
played
class.
violin, acoustic guitar, you know.
So I was in Mr. Blaine's strings class too.
Yeah, but I believe you had a problem.
Yes, I was very bad in it. I didn't practice. And I got away for 2 entire years in the class with turning the bow. I played violin. I would turn the bow
So did I.
upside down so that when it moved across the strings, it would make
Still
no
makes
sound.
noise.
It was mute.
Yes, but it wasn't loud enough to be heard above the rest of the orchestra. So he had no idea that I was doing this.
No
And
idea
for
what
2
you were doing.
years, I got away with it. And then one day, he saw me. And
How'd he see you?
He looks at you. You look at the orchestra.
He saw me do it, and he made me stand up. He berated me in front of the class and asked the class, "What is wrong with this?" And he demonstrated what I was doing, and he made them answer like why I was a piece of shit. And then he threw me out of the class, and I wasn't allowed to come back.
You got whiplashed.
Yeah, I was sent to ceramics. I had to go make pots. in the
Oh,
basement.
it's so funny.
Yes.
I was in.
You went from Amadeus to Ghost.
Yeah, yeah. Which is funny because in the opening scene in the movie is everybody's favorite guy, the "Get Off My Train" guy.
Yes.
Yeah. So I made it to a symphonic orchestra.
Oh, so
I
you were
was
good.
No, I wasn't the best. I was a second violinist.
You were
So
good.
I was good enough to be in symphonic. Yeah. But that's fucking funny.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we see our like one of the best guys from Ghost.
Yeah. Get off my train. He's
Doctor-
a lot nicer in this movie.
Also,
Yeah.
Dr. Kaufman from Tomorrow Never Dies.
Yeah.
I am just a professional doing a job. So am I. Kills
And
him.
I guess we get the opening of this movie. Salieri freaking the fuck out.
Mozart!
I killed you!
Now,
And he slits his own throat.
I've seen this
tries
movie
to kill
many
himself,
times.
yes.
Every time I've ever seen it was the director's cut. So I don't know what's not in it.
So I looked it up a little.
Yeah.
The original cut of the movie was PG.
Okay.
No tits.
And the reason for it is apparently the studio was worried about, they're like, MTV is huge. They're like,
What year is this?
the movie, it is
I
released.
think 84.
It comes out 1984, September 1984. So they are worried about MTV.
Why?
This is what the director said. The studio was
kids
like,
are
who the
watching
fuck
it."
wants to watch a movie about classical music when everything is MTV and edgelord shit? So they were
Could
like,
be watching Rod Stewart.
exactly. So they were like, we need to make this PG so we can get the biggest audience possible. And they do, and the movie's a hit. And years later, when they were releasing the DVD, he's like, well, I want to put out my version
Right.
as I wanted it to be. And
Yeah.
that's the version I've only ever seen.
Yeah. Yeah, on the DVD.
Which is the best version.
But yeah, Salieri locks himself in his bedroom and tries to slit his own throat.
Yeah.
Now, he did, from what I understand in real life, actually try to kill himself.
Yes.
Really?
This only lent itself to all the rumors and stuff. He was an old
Yeah.
man at the time.
Yeah.
It was in the 1820s.
I believe mainly because of those rumors, like his life got fucked up.
Yes.
And he basically like went insane.
And he actually told people, like, they think I killed Mozart, but I didn't.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I am racked with guilt that people think I'm a
Like,
murderer.
He's like, I'm supposed to have killed him. I didn't do it. Yeah. He was a fan. Mozart wrote letters about, like, to people, and he said in them that Salieri had gone to see him when he debuted the Magic Flute, and he loved it, and they were like pals.
Yeah, they were like acquaintances.
Yeah, I mean, they were contemporary musicians in the same field.
But that folklore will get you.
Yeah.
Well, this is in real life. He attempted suicide. He was committed to medical care. He suffered dementia for the last year and a half of his life, and he died at age 74.
I absolve you.
So all right. There's a couple of movies and actors where everything they say is like, God damn, this is good. Daniel Day-Lewis in Gangs of New York, everything he fucking says is amazing. The actor in this that plays
F. Murray Abraham.
everything he says in this is gold.
Yeah.
It's gold. It's
This is the best performance of his career, and he never came close to these heights again.
No,
How can
'cause
you?
What else did he
It's
do? He was in
untouchable.
Scarface, being all coked up and getting thrown out of a helicopter.
You may remember him from Star Trek Insurrection as one of the
Of course,
stretchy
he was
faces.
Ruffo.
Leave me alone. I cannot leave a soul in pain. Do you know who I am? All men are equals in the eyes of God. Are they? And right off the bat, it's
Are
like,
they?
holy crap. Like,
So they take him to the Nut Hut.
So real
so
quick,
crazy.
real quick, F. Murray Abraham. While we're talking about him,
Sure.
I was waiting for the story.
all right.
Sure.
Every time I see him, this comes to mind. Do you want to tell this?
No, you do it.
So, we were told by our old boss
Yes, at Applebee's.
at Applebee's that I forget why we were talking. Maybe we were talking about Amadeus. We were talking about F. Murray Abraham.
Yeah.
And he's like,
As you know, as teen boys will do, they just have protracted conversations about the great F. Murray Abraham.
Fucking nerds.
other people don't do that.
You nerds.
Our three best F. Murray Abraham performances. Rank them: Amadeus, Insurrection, or Dude in Scarface. All right, but
You guys have always been 30.
so he told us that he grew up around F. Murray Abraham,
Yes.
Really?
and he used to fuck F. Murray Abraham's daughter.
Yeah, he used to go to F. Murray Abraham's house and fuck his daughter.
I believe it. I believe it. That's believable.
Because why would you make that up?
Yeah, that's so fucking batshit crazy.
It's a weird thing.
It makes no sense. Why would you pick him? Or he's picking.
He came
Who
in the
would
room
know?
and he's like, "You guys are talking about F. Murray Abraham, oh shit." Let me tell you something.
His daughter's got a great body. Yeah, I fucked her. Cool.
I think of it every time I see him. And yeah.
That's very funny.
But yeah, so he's in the insane asylum
For trying to kill
and it is a
himself.
wacky hallway with wacky things happening.
It's just insanity.
Yes.
No pun intended.
Yeah. Yep.
and a priest is coming to have a discussion with him.
Yeah.
Hear his confession, whatever.
Because he heard a rumor that he was saying he killed Mozart. And
Yes.
He came to see if that was true.
And we hear his story.
Yes.
So Salieri, all he ever wanted to do was
Be
sing
a
to
banker.
God. Yeah, that's right.
I always wanted to be a banker. That's why he tried to kill himself.
Right.
He was unable
Didn't get
to
what he
realize his dream
And his friend-
of being a banker.
Was coming to console him,
Yes.
but he was speeding. Right? Is that-
Yeah, he got pulled over.
Right.
He's kicked in the head by Joe Davola.
Well, he starts playing tunes, and he's like, "You know this one? You know this
Yes.
one?" And the priest is like, "No, I don't know."
And he
But
goes-
plays Mozart.
Yes, I know that one.
That's a lovely tune. That was you.
Oh, that's
Nah.
charming.
Nah, that wasn't me. That
was
Mozart.
Mozart.
That was Mozart.
And how accurate is that? Like, it's the modern people would probably pick that out over
Most
anything.
people
Oh,
would
100%.
most people would only recognize Mozart or
Beethoven,
Beethoven.
yeah.
That's it.
There are certain classical pieces that everybody like. If you heard "Flight of the Valkyries," you
Yeah.
know what it is.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
he, from what I understand, was very big in Paris.
Oh, the French liked them.
Salieri was a completely accomplished composer. He was the core composer in Vienna,
Yeah.
and the Parisians loved him apparently. Now, did his music, stand the test of centuries? Probably not. I can't pick one out. Can you guys?
No, I have listened to some Salieri.
Probably because you saw this movie and
I saw the movie and I looked it up.
yeah,
Yeah, but I've listened to it from time to time. He's fine.
I was watching the Porcupine Tree Deadwing documentary last night.
Do they talk about
Salieri?
Amadeus?
No, but they did not talk about Amadeus. But Steve Wilson from Porcupine Tree was talking about the legacy of his music, and
Okay.
he wants to think that they'll still remember it, 100 years from now.
Do you think
And
they will?
I think every musician.
Every artist wants to think
Right.
that.
And
Yeah.
he was talking about how, you see young people at the shows and stuff and hopes that is, we'll keep it alive. But, they'll still be talking about the Beatles in 100 years.
Yes.
They'll still be talking probably about, I don't know, Led Zeppelin.
Yeah.
Will they
Maybe
be-
the Rolling Stones.
Will they be talking about Metallica even? I don't know.
No, I don't,
Probably not.
I don't know.
Probably not. The people.
So people
who-
disappear is my point. Salieri,
Yeah.
he was just a guy of that time, and maybe we don't remember him today, but if you are really into it, you do. You got the hardcore fans.
Well, the thing is, the movie did a lot for his reputation and legacy.
Sure.
Because after this, his works have been republished, and there's people who went and sought it out.
Yeah.
So the irony is that a movie about him being like
villain.
a villain, evil scumbag.
Gave him a second lead.
Exactly, like it brought his music back to the
back from the
forefront.
dead.
Because how many composers have been completely forgotten?
Right.
and countless. Lord makes a great composer, though.
Yes.
So his character is consistently obsessed with the Lord. Everything that happens, good and bad, is always the Lord's fault. No
Well,
matter what.
his
He's
curse.
a devout religious man.
His curse is that he is able to see God's works.
Yes.
And he doesn't have the personal talent to match them. He says the first thing he says in the movie is all I wanted was to sing to God.
Yes.
That's where I think you're wrong.
Okay, let's
And
talk.
we'll get into it because if you, I can get into it now if you want. But
sure.
I'd have to say what happens at the end.
Okay.
All right,
You
let's
wanna
wait.
We'll wait.
Yeah.
We'll wait.
Yeah.
I think we need to talk about Mozart and where he comes from.
Yes.
Well, that's the next thing in the movie, right?
Yes.
We
Yeah.
see Mozart as a little kid prodigy.
Yeah.
A miracle. My father died.
Well, that's Salieri.
That's a good quip.
Salieri's father in the movie, I don't know about real life, didn't want him to be a composer.
No.
And then a miracle happens, God kills him. And it allows him to go and become a musician. But on the flip side, you got Mozart. So Mozart is born in Salzburg in the 1750s, I believe. And as a young his father, I should point out, was the Kapellmeister of Salzburg. Salzburg, of course, is one of these Holy Roman Empire city-state things. They have their own local monarchy, kind of, and he is part of the royal court. His father, Leopold. He's an accomplished violinist. He's an accomplished composer, and he imparts this love of music on both of his children. He also has a daughter who is older than Mozart. The kid immediately is a child prodigy.
Yes.
He's a genius.
He writes stuff at 5 years old.
4 years old.
4.
Yeah.
Full songs.
I was watching this thing. It was called In Search of Mozart. It was like a 2-hour documentary.
I think I've seen that before.
I didn't watch the whole thing, but I watched some of it, and they were talking about how he was able, through you know this from his compositions, he was able to do things on the piano that a child should not be able to do physically, because most of the time their bones aren't.
They're not
developed
dexterous enough,
where
yeah.
he can actually hit notes that a 4-year-old shouldn't be able to, and he was like a freak of nature in that way.
Is that just practicing?
I don't think I think he. literally-
inherent.
Yeah,
Just
he
inherent.
had some kind of.
Whatever reason.
You want to call it a deformity, but it's
maybe.
yeah. So his father realizes that he's a genius and a prodigy, and decides to stake the entire family's lives, all of them, on him. He leaves town with
Good bet.
everything they have, and decides to spend the next 5 or 6 years doing nothing but traveling around Europe to all of the royal heads and having him perform.
Play. Yeah.
He goes to London, he goes to France, he goes to Austria, all these places.
And he's
He
performing
goes
his
down
own
some
stuff.
women's pants.
He's writing things, he's performing.
Yeah.
The kid is loving it.
Yeah.
Also, what the kid is doing is meeting the best musicians in the world.
And playing for them.
and playing from them and being influenced by them.
Oh yeah.
So he plays with these, he's playing with, Johann
greats.
Sebastian Bach.
Is pre or post Beethoven?
Beethoven is after him.
Okay.
He will meet Beethoven. Beethoven is a student of Salieri.
Ah.
As a kid.
Wow.
So, there's a famous story which I thought was really fascinating. There's a thing called I have it here. Hang on. Cut this out.
The Jake Nog Consortium.
The Miseria. You ever hear of the Miseria?
No.
All right. So in the Sistine Chapel in Rome, during Holy Week every year, they play a specific piece of music called the Miseria. There are only 3 copies of it that are official and ever made. One of them is in the Sistine Chapel. Another one is like Emperor Leopold has it in Austria. And like there's one other one. No one is allowed to copy this music. Mozart hears it as a child, writes it down, copies it right there. He has his own copy.
He just
heard it, and he was able to write it down. And
So sick.
and his father wrote a letter back to their mother in Austria, and was like, "Yeah, we have a copy of the Miseria now. He did it." Yeah, so just amazing stuff like that, unbelievable stuff. He's right, he's doing things like they blindfold him and he can play the thing, or they put cloth over the keys so he can't see them, and he plays perfectly.
we see that in the movie. He's playing blindfolded.
Yeah, right.
It doesn't matter what you do. He is meant to do this.
And his
someone
father-
told me that they felt like that when they listened to this podcast. They
Yeah.
felt like Ant was meant to podcast like this. They were like, he's
I
kind of
hope
like
you're lying.
Mozart
He's
for
so
podcast.
good.
He's so live.
He's so good that way.
Why would my ego even let me think that for a second?
It's like, that is true. I am like the Mozart podcast.
I'm constantly unplugging him.
One hears such sounds and one can think, Aunt Geo.
His father pounds into his head that he is doing what Salieri will say is God's work. God is working through him, and
That won't give you an ego.
exactly. He has a monster ego, and he thinks he's too good to be doing anything.
Anything, yeah.
And this is why throughout his life, whoever employs him immediately learns that he's a shitty employee.
Because he's not going to listen to you.
Right. And when as the movie gets going,
He's prideful.
it starts. He's employed by the Archbishop in Vienna, who hates him.
He's running around the court being
He's
immature.
disrespectful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But his genius is always no one questions it. It's
Yeah.
very apparent to everyone.
He becomes prideful, and that kills you too. There's a lot of 7 deadly sins here
So
reflected here and there.
God kills Salieri's dad, and we get some of Salieri's backstory, and then we meet
signore.
we meet Principal Rooney as Emperor Joseph.
Yes.
Yeah.
Second time on the show.
Yes.
He has no ear for music at all.
It's a
He's
good.
so
It's a good
great.
thing Mozart has grown up, or he'd be in trouble around him.
He's so good in this.
He's a good actor.
Yeah.
Everyone in this
I
is
love him.
fantastic.
What do we know about the real Joe?
I mean, this is the guy who will be fighting in the Napoleonic Wars and stuff.
Okay.
His mother was Maria Theresa, who's like the most legendary Austrian monarch. Austria is a main player at this time in European affairs, one of the biggest. And he will be at the helm through all of these turbulent years that will happen, in the final moments of the movie. They're really getting going,
Okay.
So it cuts back to the priest who's just like kind of unsure of who he's talking to. It looks like he thinks he's insane. Because he kind of is at this point.
Who?
Salieri.
Oh, we go back to the...
Yeah.
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 What I love about the way they film this shit, like when we see Mozart running around backstage, they kind of treat him like the shark in Jaws. They take a long time before you see his face.
Well,
Yeah.
they have one of the best scenes. It's the second best scene in the movie, in my opinion, right here in the beginning.
Okay.
When they're at this party that the Archbishop is holding, and Salieri's there.
He's looking for Mozart.
And he's looking for Mozart, and he's talking about
Yes.
his talent of this level. He gives like a rundown of what he had done, and he goes, "His talent like that paint on the face. Which one was?" And he's looking for him, and then he sees the music and he picks it up, and as what he's looking at, you hear it,
Yeah.
and then it cuts to the future, and he's describing it, and he's like,
It's gorgeous. It's amazing.
Yes, he's like a note above it all, and an oboe takes it over. It's a wonderful.
Yes.
It's a brilliant scene.
They do that constantly because they use Mozart's music
The music does the talking.
to be an opera of Mozart's life that we see here, at least Salieri's.
Yeah.
You're basically just watching an opera here. That's
Yeah.
the whole point of the movie, really.
I think right before that is when we're introduced to Mozart, where he goes and he's chasing Constanza around the table and everything.
Yeah.
Constanza, of course, will become his wife.
Yes.
Not George Constanza.
George. No, not George.
Can't stand you.
He made a full-scale opera at 12 years old.
Yeah. I heard a story when he met Joseph, Emperor Joseph, the first time when he was a little kid. Emperor Joseph asked him to write an opera for the court when he was a kid, like 5 years old. Yeah. And he said, "Yeah, I'll do that." And the composers in the court at that time like conspired to make sure it never happened. Like
They squashed
they put a
it?
stop to it. Yeah.
Why
They didn't want to
wouldn't
get
They didn't want
shown
to
up.
get showed up by this child.
you? Yeah, why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
And it makes sense. They need jobs.
Yeah.
So we meet Mozart. He's a complete asshole.
He's talking backwards.
He does this annoying laugh.
He's vulgar.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
And we get that. I think a lot of that
Eat
comes
my
from,
shit.
Yeah.
Kiss my ass.
But he's genius in the way he does it.
Very
Because he's doing it
genius.
backwards.
Doing
Oh,
it backwards and incredibly
Off the
fast
cuff.
without thinking about
Off
it.
the
Yes.
cuff.
You know?
It shows he's very smart.
Yes.
But he's just a child.
So my wife had never seen this, and I was watching it with her. And like as we're watching it, Mozart's laugh keeps
Samsic.
happening, and she goes, my wife goes, "That laugh is so fucking annoying."
Goes right through
Yeah.
you.
I go, yeah, it's supposed to be. You're supposed to hate him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're supposed to want to side with Salieri.
Yeah, for most of the movie.
I think a lot of the vulgarity stuff comes from letters that he had written to like his relatives, where he talks about like diarrhea all the time and
Okay.
fart jokes and shit. He was
mean, he
really
was a
into
kid.
that. He's a young guy. Yeah.
That's funny.
like,
That's this podcast.
all right, that's us. Just, yeah.
yeah.
Giggly, dirty-minded creature. That's what he calls him. And
But
yeah,
in a way, is this indicative of being a child star?
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
He's Corey Feldman, dude.
He's Corey Feldman.
He upstages,
He's Michael Jackson.
He upstages
Yes.
the arch.
He's Michael Jackson.
He's Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
Well, not exactly Michael Jackson.
Yeah. He upstages
never
the
had-
bishop.
Yes.
The bishop kicks him out. He's like, I don't want you here. And then he opens the door to applause, and he just looks back like, you see this? That's for me. He's a fucking little brat, but he's a kid. He's a kid.
He's a young guy, but he should be more mature, and he's not. And it's because he spent his entire
that's what-
childhood
Being gassed up.
Yeah.
That's why Salieri hates
And
him.
this is what Salieri hates. Salieri is like, why would God choose this asshole
this vulgar creature.
to be his
Be
instrument?
his instrument.
But he-
I'm
Yeah.
pious. I'm a good guy.
Yeah.
It should be me.
Yeah.
He blames
I
God.
deserve this.
Blaming God constantly. He's hearing the voice of God through Mozart.
Yes.
And he doesn't understand why it can't be him.
Well, he's jealous
And I get
that it's
it.
not him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't understand why.
Because in his mind, it's like, I do everything the Bible tells me to. I'm a good, pious person. Why am I not rewarded with God's voice? Why is it this asshole?
Right. He's sworn a vow of chastity in the movie.
Yes, which is not true.
No, he had a wife and kids.
Yeah, he had like 7 kids.
Yeah.
And you remember, it's not far into the movie. He becomes extremely jealous of Mozart because he knows that Mozart bangs that soprano girl, Katerina.
Yes.
Yeah.
He had. There's rumors that he had an affair with Salieri. Had an affair with her, not Mozart.
That
So,
makes sense.
Yeah, that was his pupil.
Yeah.
That part is accurate.
And we get a little foreshadowing here that kind of, I don't know if it backs up what I was trying to explain. They say there's too many notes.
Too many notes.
Too many notes.
Yeah, they say it early before they say it later on. They say it in this scene when they're deciding like what should they play? Should it be in German? Should it be Italian? They want to hire him to make an opera.
The
Right.
emperor wants to hire him for a national opera,
Yes.
and
They're
Deciding
debating about the
language.
language.
yes, whether it's going to be Italian or German. And the Italians at the time, they are the big guys in court. Salieri is the court composer. There's the other guy who's the Kapellmeister, and then there's the big fat guy who has some other job. I'm not sure what it is. Italy at the time was seen as like the forefront of music. And they point out that German is too brutish for singing.
Yes.
It's a harsh language.
And obviously, Mozart is going to be excited about doing something new and different.
Yeah.
He's Prague before he's Prague. You know?
Yes. Too many notes.
He's way ahead of his time.
Yeah,
People are not ready for him.
Nope.
You know?
You're not ready for that.
Yeah. He's like
your
Marty McFly getting on
great-grandkids are
stage and
gonna love
playing
it.
Johnny Be Good.
Which brings me back around to that point where Mozart could have used Salieri. Salieri was already successful in having the audience.
Salieri could have helped him play the political game,
Yeah.
but he would never have helped him with his music.
Right.
Because Mozart doesn't
Mozart would
need,
never allow him
Well,
to.
Mozart doesn't need any fucking help.
Yeah,
He's
that's it.
fucking Mozart.
Right.
But if you want to see God through music and he's right in front of you and it's like, listen, the king doesn't like your stuff. Let me help you.
It's not that he
you
wants
know?
to see God through music. He sees God through music every time Mozart
Well,
plays.
he could be part of it, you know.
No, he will never be a part of it. He wants God to speak
To him directly.
through
yeah.
him.
Yes.
Just saying.
Yeah,
I'm just
that
saying
will
his
never
mistake.
happen.
It's his mistake.
It's not
to
his
do it.
mistake because it never would have happened.
Right.
In my opinion.
His only option, like in this movie, his only option
Salieri.
would be to accept I'm never going to be as good. I'm not as good.
And just appreciate
and just
what I have.
appreciate it and like move on.
Yeah.
That is his only option.
Well, he also doesn't want to be replaced, right?
I don't think he was worried about being replaced.
He was.
He was, yeah.
Which is why he sabotages, the princess
Play and
Emily's.
everything, yeah.
Oh, later,
yeah.
But it was never. It's not about that. It's
No.
not about the money. He's a rich guy. In fact, I think by the time he died, he was like the richest composer in Vienna.
Okay.
It's pride, and it's
It's about not being the best.
right.
Like I was an athlete. I know what it's like. Like when you fucking train and you work harder than everybody else and you're still not as good as them.
Right.
It fucking eats you alive.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do one addendum to that. It's not about being the best either. It's just about having one piece at least of just transcendent music. He wants to have one moment
Yeah.
that everyone can recognize as being this is the next.
Well,
level.
it's God speaking.
It's God speaking through him, and he begs for it.
Yeah.
And gracias.
He thanks God for his compositions
There's-
when he's just sitting there working at it.
This scene we're talking about, it actually starts with Salieri has composed a piece to
Yeah.
welcome Mozart,
Yeah.
and he's playing it. The emperor plays it.
And it's so shitty.
Yeah.
And you could see it's killing
It's killing Salieri that he's not doing it right.
that's being played so shitty from Mozart.
Right.
Because he wants to impress Mozart.
as a contemporary.
Yes. Look, I have skills too.
Right.
Yeah.
And Mozart comes in, he hears it one time, figures out exactly how it's done, and then improves it.
Makes it better.
Yeah, he makes
Oh,
it.
doesn't this make it better?
He
Which
goes,
is
that
just-
doesn't really work, does it? What about this? And it's 10 times better.
But it's so insulting.
Yeah.
It's so, which shows that it's like this guy doesn't give a fuck about anyone.
Right.
And he's wearing a crazy outfit.
Yeah,
Like a purple suede, like draping
the costumes
suit.
are insanely good.
So cool.
yeah.
The costumes are phenomenal. And we hear that Salieri is known as the maestro.
Salieri.
Sorry. Yeah, he's known as the maestro. I knew a guy,
The maestro.
the maestro, Bob Cobb. He actually wanted to be the maestro because Leonard Bernstein was known as the maestro. So Bob Cobb would demand that he's called maestro all the time.
Even when he's not working?
Even when he's not working. Yeah, he wants to be called the maestro. If you call him Bob, he gets really angry. And actually,
He had really well ironed pants.
his pants. So this is the trick for anybody out there when you're composing. If you take your pants off before, like, you have a big event and you lay them like over a chair as you go about your day and like you're getting ready and things, they won't crease. So then you put them on before your show, no crease in your pants.
Brilliant.
Wonderful.
And also, if you're in a tight spot and you're doing some billiards, yeah. If you're in like the place to be or something like that, you could use the conductor's wand as a pool cue.
Pool cue.
Yeah, it can double as that.
Smart.
Conductors, operas. So, Mozart wants to make an opera about a harem.
Yes, the abduction from
brothel.
Sarajevo.
And they are like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah. He's going to do it in German. And
Name a German virtue.
love.
Love. Oh, the Italians don't know anything
Of course,
about
we in
that.
Italy know nothing of love.
And he insults them.
No, I don't think you do.
No, you don't. Fat sopranos. No, you don't know anything about love. It's like, oh, what a good insult.
Yeah, it's great. So he does the opera. We get an extended scene of it. It looks amazing.
Yep.
Sounds amazing.
Well, at the end of it, they come over and they're talking to Mozart, the emperor, and everybody.
Yeah.
And like, there's too many notes.
Too many notes.
Too many notes.
Too many notes.
Yeah, he's too prog. Yes, he's too prog. That's like why people can't listen to prog metal and music and rock.
I
It's
have
too-
thought
too
that
complex.
watching this before, that he's like it's almost like progressive music, but I think it's less progressive music and more he's doing something extremely new. It's not that it's too complex and that people can't get into it. I think it's just they've never heard anything like it before. It'd be like showing death metal to people in the 50s, you know?
Maybe, but I think the way that it's
Or
at
even
least-
better, showing Sabbath to people in the 50s, you know?
No, I would say it's on our terms, on metal terms. It's like listening to Yngwie Malmsteen. It's an endless guitar solo that gets very boring very fast.
But
There's no substance to it. It's just notes for notes. That's
I've
all.
been trying to do this for a while now, trying to make an equivalency, and I thought that too. And it's almost like this virtuoso, it's music for musicians,
Yeah.
but it's not, because it's also incredibly accessible to people. Like people, you hear dun 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 dun. It's in your head. You can whistle it. It's not like
It's like Limp Bizkit. It's kind of like when Nookie came out.
okay.
It was a little too ahead of the time for the mainstream, but the popular pop culture loved it and people ate it up.
Can you give me a little break stuff right now?
Break stuff?
Yeah, do some break stuff.
It's just one of those days where you don't want to wake up. Everything is fucked. Everybody sucks. Don't really know why, but you want to justify ripping someone's head off. No human contact. And if you interact, your life is on contract. Your best bet is to stay away, motherfucker. It's just one of those days.
Yes.
Yeah, that was good.
There you go.
Yes.
That was solid. Can't believe you remembered that much.
I'm so fucking pumped right
Dude,
now.
I fucking love the Biscuit.
Don't break the
I think Biscuit and Mozart is a fair comparison. I think most would agree.
100%. Yeah, everybody.
Fred Durst and Mozart,
Yeah.
I'd say they're about
I
the
wouldn't
same.
even say it's day and night. I would just be like day
I mean,
and
let's
day.
talk about some of the greats of history. You have
Sure.
Mozart, Durst,
Yeah, obviously better.
Jared Leto, Joker.
Jared Leto Joker Ultimate.
Okay. Yes.
Jar Jar.
Jar Jar's up there.
Got it. Yeah. I can't believe you put, Beethoven or Mozart above him. It's just disgusting.
Yeah, you can't forget.
Fuck you doing?
They forgot about Binks.
Yeah, the thing about
Oh,
Jar
no.
Jar
Oh no.
is when I designed him, I really wanted him to be the ultimate. So I knew that he needed to have something special.
What's that,
and for
George?
Jar Jar, it's actually a double organ.
Double organ.
Double.
He has a penis and a vagina.
Both.
He has both. He has a double organ.
Dude,
It's
why
under
do we
his
have to
pants.
show the organs though?
He will
Is that
pleasure
important to his
himself.
character?
Yes, he pleasures himself, and he'll use his tongue because it's so long
Right.
to get both organs at once. Not many know this about
He
Jar
gives
Jar.
himself oral gratification.
Yes, and if you watch the movie carefully, he in every scene Jar Jar actually has his penis into his own vagina.
He's
'Cause-
fucking himself.
Yes, throughout the whole movie. And that's why he's so clumsy. Because who could really move with the dick inside them? You
That
see?
makes sense.
That's
that Makes
true.
sense.
That was always my conception when I designed the character.
I think it
Valid
works.
Point. Yeah.
I think it works.
Yeah,
George.
it works, George.
See, it's like poetry. It has to rhyme.
Yeah,
and like I want you when you're watching episode 9, I want it to feel like a dick is in you. So you feel like Jar Jar did. You see?
Very good.
I'm gonna go now, guys.
Bye, George.
Thanks,
It's
Lucas.
nice to see you. Thank you for coming back.
Glad to know. Glad to know that about Jar Jar. Remind me never to bring up Jar Jar again.
George hadn't been on in a while.
Yeah. It was due. It was due.
We definitely haven't heard about Joe's double organ in quite some time.
Yeah, it's been a bit. There's been a lack of prequel references around this show, and I'm sick of it.
Oh, that's funny. So the landlady saves Mozart, jumps on stage.
Yeah.
Hey, let me on stage. Mozart's fucking my daughter.
She passes out.
Yep.
He's got to throw a bucket of water at her.
And the king's like, "Go. What are you doing? Go get eloped, you dummy.
yeah.
Go get married."
I back you up. I'm the fucking emperor.
I love the Emperor in this.
He's great.
I love him in this. He's
So
so good.
like dumb.
but not like not really. He's just like he's a simpleton.
What he is he's he's like a guy who likes movies but doesn't understand them or know anything about them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, he's a layman.
But he has a family. He doesn't like focus all his time on it. He might like watch a movie here and there. You know.
He loves music, but he's got more important things to worry about.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
So then Katerina's upset that Mozart fucked the other girl, and Salieri's pissed off because Katerina fucked Mozart,
And now he wants revenge.
and now he says, "Yep, he had her, my darling girl."
The creature.
The creature. I love that he calls him the creature.
Incomprehensible. What is God up to?
And then he takes the crucifix off the wall, puts it in the fire.
And I love this. He goes, from now on, we are
you and
enemies.
I are
Oh,
enemies.
it's so cool.
And
It's
he
so
burns
good.
the cross.
It's so good.
Yes.
And
Mozart, his father says don't marry yet, but he does.
Yeah.
And then Elizabeth comes, the emperor's niece, and we have that scene before
Yes.
Salieri
Yeah,
meets
so
them.
so the Princess Elizabeth.
and is this Elizabeth the First of England?
No,
Oh,
God,
no. Okay.
No, she's been dead for hundreds of years already. Almost 200.
Okay.
Yeah, Princess Elizabeth needs a tutor. And
well, she is a tutor, isn't she?
no, she's a Habsburg.
This gets so confusing. She needs a teacher, and the
yes.
emperor's like, I want Mozart, and Salieri's like, fuck that.
Right. So he tells him so as not to have favorites. Everyone has to submit their work for decision, and then he will.
Yeah.
Salieri and the Italians will decide who gets the job.
Mm-hmm.
This is an insult to Mozart because he feels
knows
he's
he's the
better than
best,
this.
yeah.
It'd be like asking, an A-list actor to audition.
to do an audition or a line read. Like, you're not asking Brad Pitt to do this.
Yes.
Like,
Do you want Brad Pitt? Then you hire Brad Pitt.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So Mozart refuses to submit his work, but they need money. So Stanzi secretly steals his work, his orchestra shit, and takes it to Salieri's house.
Yes. Also, Mozart gets bad reviews for his music.
When?
well, for the too many notes.
He gets pissed through the reviews, yeah.
Yeah.
So he's like,
It was too advanced for people.
yeah.
Yeah.
So they fight over money. The
Well-
wife.
well, they
of
need
Mozart,
money.
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
But they take the papers. She takes the papers, brings it to
Salieri.
Salieri, whatever.
And this is another Agamemnon situation.
Yeah. Yeah. Aggie.
So Salieri takes one look at it and he's shocked
How it's perfect.
because there's no corrections.
No
They
corrections.
aren't copies. She tells him that.
Originals.
They're originals.
There are no copies.
Yes.
Not one correction. And he says, do you want Roman chestnuts and brandy sugar?
Nipples of Venus.
They sound delicious.
And at this point, I wrote in my notes because I had forgot. I haven't seen in so long.
He's always eating desserts.
Yeah, I was like,
gluttonous.
is he? I was like, is he hitting on her? Is he trying to fuck her? I wasn't sure yet, and then obviously it turns out he is.
Oh, yeah.
And he's like, I have a job that offers between $1,000 and $5,000 a day. Come sit on this leather couch. Did you think you were going to be doing this today? So basically, he's like, if you come back at night and fuck me,
Yeah. He's got the job.
he's got the job. And now Salieri doesn't want to do this.
No.
He does not want to have to be this scumbag. He is like going to God, please, God, channel yourself through me one time right now so I don't have to do this.
Oh, this is right.
And
he
be a
hasn't
wretch.
thrown it in the crucifix in the fire.
Yes, it's after this. And he's begging God.
Give him a song.
And the girl shows up and she starts getting naked and he decides,
Suppose we don't need these, and she throws them on the floor. She is so angry that she has to do this.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Solid body, though.
she's hooking.
She's hot.
Her
Yeah,
tits are phenomenal. She's
she's a
gorgeous.
You think she's gorgeous?
She's so fucking hot.
You're
man.
a Stanzi appreciator.
Oh yeah, I'm big into Stanzi.
Nice, nice.
In fact, I think it's a crying shame that she did not get tons of work after this.
She didn't?
No, Elizabeth Burridge. She did not have like a giant career after this, and I think she should have
Giant.
very good.
career.
because she
was
is
good in
really hot, and I would have liked to see her in more things.
Salieri does a funny thing. He rings his servant's bell while she's naked.
It's so insulting.
It's to humiliate
yeah.
her.
It's like,
Yeah.
okay, get her out of here.
I forgot why he does that. He gets another plan.
He didn't want to sleep with her.
He didn't want to sleep with her.
He
No, but
wanted
he
to
get
insult
he
her.
devises a plan right there on the spot. I'm trying to remember what it is.
Oh, he wanted to say that Mozart is like
He's a molester.
a molester.
He's a child molester.
Pretty good. And I guess he also uses that to like kind of stir up shit at the home. You know, like he didn't want to really sleep with her. He was
Yeah.
just like, I'm gonna destroy this man's life in every aspect.
And after this is when he burns the cross and he says we're
Yep,
enemies.
he says from
Yeah.
now on we're enemies.
Yeah.
We also missed a really cool line.
What?
Misplace one note and there would be diminishment.
Yeah.
Replace
Yeah.
one phrase and the structure would fail. And he's just worshiping the music. I love that.
Yeah.
But then he says that nonsense that he's a pervert. He molested his student twice, so he's
tells
slowly
the
spreading
emperor.
rumors.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's slowly.
This way he
spreading
can't get
He can't
work.
get students.
No one with a daughter is going to hire him.
right.
Yeah.
So now Mozart is broke and he goes to Salieri for help. And he's like, yo, I got you. I know a guy. And it's someone with a bunch of
The
dogs.
dog
Yeah.
guy.
It's such a funny scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's such a chaotic household.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like he walks in, there's like 5 dogs all barking, they're loud as fuck. The daughter that he's supposed to be teaching is all like clearly has some kind of like PTSD.
Yep.
She just doesn't know what to do.
Yeah.
She's like, I don't want to play piano.
She doesn't speak really.
Yeah.
And then the family, the mother and father, sit on the couch and watch them play with the dogs barking.
Freaking
Because
out.
they won't leave the room.
Yeah, and it's great because the dog barks like it howls every time it hears
Piano's
music.
on, yeah.
And the guy, it's more important to the guy that he breaks
The dog.
of the habit. We have to break him of that habit.
Yeah.
Play on. It's fucking hilarious.
And Mozart does. He actually breaks the dog.
Yes, but then he's so like
He takes the
insulted and-
bottle
He
of
leaves.
champagne
Yeah,
and
he
runs
takes
out.
bottle of champagne and leaves.
And then Mozart's father shows up
Yeah.
dressed like Batman. And he even does like the
Yeah.
cape thing at the top
And
of the
it's like
stairs.
ominous music. Like, dun-dun-dun-dun-dun.
Da-da-da-da.
And it's like, what the
They had at this point been a little bit estranged.
Yeah.
Obviously, his father, has given his life for his son. He's made him who he is. And he's annoyed about this marriage. He didn't.
Well, it wasn't approved.
right.
Yeah.
And this comes off really well in the movie. Like it's pretty spot on to, as I understand it, real life. But he spends the next couple of days with them, and they go to a party, and he wears that mask.
Well, the house is also a mess.
House
He looks
is a mess.
he's thin.
It's a mess, and he's like, why is your house a shithole? What does your wife do?
And she's just laying in bed.
She's laying in bed like it's like noon. She's just a slob.
You hear that, honey? Don't do that.
We'll wait.
Well, wait.
I noticed that they had the pool table where he does his work.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was in the thing I was watching, that In Search of Mozart thing. They said that he and Stanza used to play billiards together. Like that was their big thing.
Well, that's
Oh,
what
really?
maestros do. They play billiards.
right.
God damn.
So that was a nice little.
For someone
nod
who's
to the
poor, he
real
has a
life.
pretty nice house.
Well, he's cash
He's
poor.
living above his means.
Yeah.
He's in debt.
Yeah. And then the father says composition doesn't pay. And Mozart won't show him the secret work, which is interesting because it's like you need pupils.
Oh, I remember
You
now
need
what it
people paying
was.
You.
When Salieri sees the work, it's Figaro,
Yes.
and he knows that. That's
No,
banned.
that's when he breaks into the house.
That's later. That's later.
Oh,
That's later.
okay.
But I want to talk about Mozart's dad real quick. The guy playing him is named Roy Detrice or Roy Detrice.
Really looks like Leopold.
Yeah.
Real guy.
But the reason I know him, he's more of a stage actor, is
Star of stage and screen.
yes, he does the narration for the Game of Thrones audiobooks.
Really?
And he actually had the Guinness Book of World Records, I believe, for most voices done on an audiobook.
Like, he does the characters?
Because he does the characters, and every character has their own voice. So when you're listening, you know who it is. It's phenomenal.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Huh.
It's actually great.
He does the women?
Yeah. But not
And the
like
children, too?
He doesn't get high pitched.
And the children too.
He talks like more soft. Children, yeah, but he does like every one of them is different.
Really?
Yeah, he's phenomenal. But, I just wanted to give a shout out to that.
Yeah, it's pretty
because I
cool.
think it's interesting. So now we go to the party, and he's in the mask, which is on the cover.
And
Yes.
she's pregnant.
And she's pregnant, yeah. And I love this where they're playing games at the party, and Mozart goes to his dad, I got to have a penalty.
Yeah,
I got to have a
little kid.
penalty. He's like a little, he's a little kid. He's a brat.
Right.
Show us your legs.
Yeah.
That party looks awesome.
Party's
It
great.
looks like a good time.
And then Mozart gets on the piano, which is like if you're at a party and like Slash is there and he picks up the guitar.
Yeah, and everybody gathers around.
And everybody
yeah.
gathers around and they're like, oh, he's like, name something and I'll play it.
Yeah.
And,
Play this, he'll play it upside down.
Exactly, he's
Give me
showing
something
off.
difficult,
Backwards.
Play Salieri. Oh, that's hard.
and
That's a
Salieri
challenge.
shouts, he goes, now that's a challenge.
And
like,
Salieri's there.
and Salieri's there. Well, he's the one who shouted it
Yeah.
because he wants to see what
See what
happened.
he does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Mozart is like, that's a challenge. And you could see, like, when they cut, it's like, that's giving him, like, an ego boost, Salieri. And then Mozart plays,
And he makes the face.
and, and he makes the
grimace.
face, and he's grimacing. Is that when he does the fart?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he farts and goes, one hears such sounds and one can think, Salieri.
No, he says that to
That's-
Salieri. That's earlier.
Oh,
He says
okay.
that, yeah.
Well, now he says that was God laughing at me because the whole room laughs at
Yes.
Salieri, and he says, "But before I leave this earth, I will laugh at you." Meaning, I'm gonna take your instrument. I'm
I'm
killing
gonna
Mozart.
I'm gonna kill Mozart on you, God.
Yep.
Yeah.
So then a maid shows up at Mozart's house, and it's one of the Sex and the City broads.
Yeah.
Yeah, she went from cleaning Mozart's shitty apartment to trying to run for governor of New York
Yes.
as a like weird lesbian candidate.
They love Wolfie and Vienna. Of course, they'd send a maid. And the father's
One
like,
of his many
what is
admirers."
wrong with you? Like, nobody does this.
So she's a spy. She's paid by Salieri.
Yes.
And, Salieri breaks into the house, and he looks through, and now he finds Figaro.
Right.
Yep.
And Figaro has been banned because it spreads class division.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now,
Play out of France.
what do
As
you...
we know, things are happening in France.
Yes, things are getting tight for his sister, Antoinette.
Yes. Yeah. Marie Antoinette's his sister. So.
So,
She's starting to be afraid of her own people.
do you know what Figaro is?
I actually don't. Do you? Beaver's looking at cartoon cats.
The Marriage of Figaro. It's a comedy written in 5 acts. The story begins with a simple love triangle in which a Spanish count, has fallen in love with a girl named Rosine. He disguises himself to ensure that she will love him back for his character, not his wealth. But this is all foiled when Rosine's guardian, Dr. Bartholo, who wants her hand in marriage, confines her to the house. The count runs into an ex-servant of his, now a barber, Figaro, and pressures him into setting up a meeting between the count and Rosine. So,
I don't
okay.
know why this is going to cause class strife. But
Yeah.
I guess it's in
Yeah,
there
I don't
somewhere.
know.
For us, it seems pretty,
Nonchalant, basic.
It might be in the subtext.
Subtext probably has some.
Well, what
crazy
about this?
stuff.
Napoleon Bonaparte called it the revolution already put into action.
Oh,
I guess
Okay.
they kill
This is
off.
something we should probably look into.
I guess
Yeah.
they kill off nobility in it.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Like, yeah, I've never seen it. I've never heard it. I've never read it.
So the emperor's like, "Yo, what the fuck up? What are you doing, my guy?" And Mozart's like, "Yeah, I'm doing it."
It has elevated themes.
Yes.
Yeah,
Like love.
yeah. But Mozart's like, "Listen,
I-
this is new."
What I love though is that like elevated themes is still used today when people want to like almost cover up for trash.
The subversion.
Not subversion. It's like, so with horror movies now, right? The new thing, because people are embarrassed that they're making horror movies or that they enjoy horror. The new thing is it's elevated horror. It's better than regular
It has
horror.
ideas
We're
in
about trauma, and it's deep, and it's like you're a fucking horror movie.
Yeah,
you
just
know,
kill the
like
people.
stop pretending you're better than this shit.
Yeah, just kill the people.
It's funny that like is still like going on.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting here where the play has been banned by the monarchy, right? Because it's dangerous and subversive. But he's able to appeal to the monarch, and the monarch has the ability to just let him do it.
Because he has taste.
Yeah,
he tells them about a
if
20-minute
he-
solo.
If he just sells it, yeah.
The guy's like, 20 minutes.
If he sells
Tell
it
me
to
more.
him properly, then he can convince him. So
He gets
does,
turned on.
and then he makes it happen. But
Well, it's like, look, imagine you go to the studio head and you want to make your horror movie, right?
Right.
And you're pitching it to him, and the guy's really not into it. You're like, it has elevated themes. There's a 20-minute single shot sequence.
tits.
And he's like, oh, you know? It's the same thing.
think about how long such a thing could be sustained and double it.
Yes. And now we see the Figaro rehearsal.
Yes.
And he is ordered to take out the ballet.
Yes.
And he goes to Salieri for help. And Salieri is like, yeah, I got your back. I'll tell the emperor.
He doesn't tell him anything.
He doesn't tell him anything, but while they're at rehearsal, the emperor shows up and they're dancing silently and it's hysterical.
Yeah.
They're just kind of hopping.
Yeah.
The emperor's like, what the fuck
What
is
is
this?
this?
You like this, Kapellmeister? Look at them.
This is dancing. What do you mean?
It's your own law, Majesty.
Well, usually there's music. Can we see it with music? Like, is this what's banned? It's a great scene.
And the Salieri says that the emperor never shows up at rehearsals.
Yep.
So God sent him in
Yup, just to
just to
fuck.
foil Salieri's plan.
Yup.
Yeah.
And in the end, you know, they put the music back, the play is happening, and as it's going on and on and on, the play is like amazing and all this shit, the emperor yawns.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that is the end of this opera.
A miracle.
Yep.
And now,
What did he get? 8 shows?
yeah, 8 shows and it's done. And now Salieri, he invites Mozart.
But Salieri recognizes the genius in it.
Oh, he's like, this is brilliant.
He's like, this is the best thing I've
It's
ever
amazing.
seen. Yeah.
He said the fourth act was astounding. Music of true forgiveness throughout the theater. My defeat more bitter with every passing bar. And it's
But
just
then,
like, wow.
miracle.
And a miracle. A yawn. 3 yawns, and the opera fell the same night.
Yes.
So then, Salieri invites Mozart to his opera, and it gets rapturous applause.
Oh, yeah.
But you notice that it's the subject matter. Mozart had this whole speech earlier in the film about like everything has to be the classics and things about Hercules and
Yes.
and the gods and
yeah.
and ancient stuff and
Who wouldn't
what does
rather
he say?
listen to his hairdresser than Hercules?
Yes.
Yeah.
And when you look at Salieri's play, it's the 10 Commandments, the Ark of the Covenant is
yeah.
there. It's very traditional. It's the
Well, it's traditional shit, and it's also the point of it is to show that like Salieri is the only person in the other play who's able to appreciate how great this is.
Yeah.
And his play, all the rubes love it.
Yeah.
Because they're dumb.
Yes.
And he plays mediocre shit for
Right.
mediocre people.
and
it's
the emperor's like, it's the finest opera yet.
Dude, it's the equivalent between like an amazing prog band and like fucking a Kesha concert.
Yes.
You know, like the Kesha concert sells out and it's huge and she has all these sales because they're fucking idiots.
Right.
And the amazing prog band with all this skill, technique, and art,
Yeah.
no one gives a fuck about.
Right.
Except the elites and the cool people like us.
Right, of course. You gave too many demands on the royal ear. Hour max. You gave 4.
You gave him 4.
4 hours is a long time for anything.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? Like,
Do you think they had piss breaks?
yeah.
Probably, right?
I hope so.
Intermissions, yeah. That's what intermission's for. What'd you think about it? And he
This is when he says the Salieri.
I thought it was marvelous. Salieri is always honest to Mozart about the music. That's
the
the
music.
only thing he's honest about. And it gives so much more depth to Salieri's character. Just him being honest here and there about the music. It's
Whenever
so
he
good.
talks to Mozart, he talks to him as a friend.
Yeah.
When
Mozart
comes to
must
Beg
think
money.
Salieri is a great friend.
Oh, yeah, he does.
This guy always has my back, even on my deathbed. What a great guy.
But on his deathbed, he admits, he says, I thought you didn't like me.
Yeah.
I was right for years. I was right
Until this
time.
moment.
Yeah.
So Mozart actually gives Salieri a standing ovation because Salieri invites him to see his new work, and Mozart actually claps, and that's when he says the line, "When you hear this, you know Salieri," which is kind of like a backhanded insult.
It's he means it as an insult.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Mozart was not impressed with this like pleb shit.
He's
Yeah,
this
yeah.
I've seen this a million times.
Yeah, there's nothing to this.
And now Mozart finds out that his father has passed
Yes. In Salzburg.
and makes an opera, a play, whatever.
Don
you wanna call
Giovanni.
it, yeah, about his father's death.
Which I think it's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
I've watched many renditions of that Commendatore scene. The other one that's in the movie.
Yeah.
And like real like it still gets performed to this day all the time, you know. The set is so
My friend
cool.
one time invented in a company that broadcasts opera called Opera Now. It won a big stock tip.
That is such an obscure one.
Yeah.
That's
That's a good one though if you get it.
Yeah.
So now what's it called?
terrifying and wonderful to watch.
Yes.
The madness of a man splitting in half. Salieri goes to all 5 shows in secret.
Yes.
Because he just worships it so much. He found a terrible way to triumph over God, though.
Well,
This is when he devises his
Salieri
plan.
understands that what Mozart is doing is resurrecting his own father
Yes.
Yes.
through the Commendatore, which is the
Yes.
ghost.
And
of
that's
the-
when he comes up with his plan.
I'm going to dress like Batman and I'm going to go to Mozart and ask him to do a Requiem mass for a prominent person.
Right, yeah.
Now, this is real. This
it?
happened, but it was not Salieri.
Right.
So it was an anonymous person who came out later. It's Count Franz von Walsegg,
Okay.
who was grieving after the death of his wife and wanted to commission Mozart to do a Requiem mass. So it was an anonymous thing, and you know they took that inspiration for this.
There you
That's
go.
cool. But the anonymous part of this might be the best plan of any villain in any movie ever. Outside of like
Well, his plan,
the Dr. Manhattan plan in like The Watchmen, you know?
his plan is to have Mozart write a Requiem Mass,
Yes.
which will be the work of God because Mozart is creating it.
Yes.
He will then kill Mozart,
Yeah.
And steal it.
steal it,
Say it's his
and
work.
get the credit for creating
And he will play it
Yeah.
at Mozart's
At
funeral.
Mozart's
Yes.
own death.
Yes. Thus,
Wow.
triumph over the Almighty.
He will steal.
Yes.
It is so fucking brilliant. And it cuts back to the priest who is horrified.
Yeah.
And he goes, how does one kill a man, though?
The only thing that bothered me was the actual kill.
It's so good. It's so good. My God.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Mozart takes his family to see the commoners. You know,
Yes.
he gets away from like the nobility
Yes.
and everything, where they are doing a parody of Don Giovanni with one of the Time Bandits, and it's great.
And he loves it.
Yeah.
And his kid loves it. He's having fun with it. With the silly vaudeville shit.
Yes.
Yeah. It's batshit crazy, it seems. There's horse shitting out wine, meat, birds,
Yeah.
it's chaos happening. It's great.
They're throwing sauce.
It's vulgar. He
Yeah.
loves it.
But the actor's like, just
Stands he doesn't like.
you belong.
No.
You belong in the real theater. Come work with us. It'll be good.
Right.
You know.
And his buddy there that runs it commissions him to write the magic flute.
Yes.
And he starts working on it. And he's an alcoholic. He's like a washout at this point.
Yeah. Things
yeah.
are ramping up here.
Mozart's not going well for him.
No. Now you could argue a couple of things here. One, in the movie, did he die from his alcoholism or from being overworked? Because the story I know says overworked. But it seems like the alcoholism had a huge part in it.
Absolutely.
I think it's everything.
It's everything?
I think the candle's being burnt at both ends.
Yeah. But do you think if there's no alcohol, Salieri still gets his outcome? This is just a hypothetical question.
Well, Salieri, you know,
He sees an opportunity, but
I don't think it would have happened right then.
no, right? It would have taken a lot more time.
the alcoholism is God. Don't you see? God steals Salieri's victory by killing Mozart. He'd rather kill Mozart than allow Salieri to win.
To even bask in the slightest bit.
Yes. Yes. God, I love
It's brilliant.
It's so good. It's so fucking good.
So Mozart, he has alcoholism and shit, and the maid is desperate to quit.
She's getting scared.
She's getting scared about like how insane
He's
it's
just
getting.
going mad.
But it's also a lot in part because Salieri just keeps spreading rumors about him and he can't get work. So he's constantly poor and working like overtime.
And in the middle of the night, he'll come to the house, bang on the door, dressed as a ghost, and be like, "Here's some money. Get to work, asshole."
Why is it not done? And we didn't mention it, but one of my favorite shots in the movie is earlier at the first play, where like Mozart's playing and he looks at his dad. And he sees the smiling face, and he's all happy. And then his father turns around, and it's the angry face. And he's like, "Oh fuck."
Stanzi leaves him.
Yep. Well, didn't he went to like a whorehouse, right?
No, he didn't go to a whorehouse. He abandoned her. She was sitting with him while he was working.
He went to a party,
and he just abandoned her to go to just party,
a theater party.
Okay.
Yeah. And when he came home, she was gone with the kid.
Yeah.
And he's being yelled at by his mother-in-law.
Yes. And a beautiful transition.
Yes. Into the magic flute.
Yeah.
Would you like to do a little magic flute for us?
I could have done Don Giovanni. I cannot do the magic flute, unfortunately. I'm not a female soprano.
It sounds like a monkey is loose in here.
Very
it was
close.
pretty good, though.
It was very close. Way better than either of us could have done.
Don Giovanni.
That was good. That was very good.
Avendamento.
It's like Opera Man's here. You're like Adam Sandler.
This is amazing.
So now, they're doing the first performance of the magic flute, and Mozart drops.
Yeah.
And Salieri's like, "I got this."
Yeah.
And he takes
the other guy, the Kapellmeister, steps in and fills in
The
for
show
him.
must go on. Yeah, the show must go on. He's just like, "Yep." And he gets in the cabin. Is it over? And Salieri's like, "Yeah, you're good. You're good.
Yeah, you're good. Come on, let's go back.
Let's go." Now he sees his chance.
And now we get one of the greatest scenes ever filmed.
Dude.
Steve and I have been talking about this scene for a decade.
Okay.
And every so often we just quote it.
Just bring it up.
Yeah.
Because it is one of the greatest scenes ever filmed.
Yeah.
It's
brilliant.
poetic.
Yeah.
That's the best way to describe it, is beautifully poetic.
So he takes him home, and Salieri, he kind of wakes him up, and then the magic flute guy shows up,
He has some money for
pays him the money he owes him.
Well, as he's knocking,
He's like, "Go away."
Mozart, tell him to go away. Tell him to go away.
it's the ghost.
He thinks it's Batman. Yeah.
He gives him the money,
Yeah.
and Salieri brings it into the room, dumps it on him, and is like, "We need to finish it tonight.
Yep. I'll help you.
I'll help you." Mozart's dying at this point.
Oh, yeah. Does Salieri know he's dying?
Oh yeah. That's why he wants it done tonight,
Yeah.
so he can play it at Mozart's death.
Maybe. I think it's more... Yeah, maybe. I don't think he knows he's dying.
He knows he's sick. He knows that he's sick.
I think he sees this as Stanzi's not here. This is my opportunity.
Yeah.
You know?
See, I took it like he knows he's sick. He just passed out at the thing. You could see the man doesn't look good. He's deteriorating. I think he knows.
Yeah. Plus, this is his chance to just see how he works.
Yeah.
What's going to happen. This
To see God.
This is fast. Yeah. He's going to see God here. Yeah. And the first thing Mozart asks him is if he believes in hell.
Do you believe
Yeah.
confutatis, maledictis?
Do you believe it?
And he says, what
Like
does
the
that
fire.
translate to? Consigned to flames of woe.
Yeah.
And he goes, do you believe it?
Yeah. And Mozart just goes,
A fire that never dies,
Yes.
burning forever. Is it possible? And Salieri's like, it is, but we got to get to work.
No, I don't think that's what.
Yeah.
I don't think that's what you're supposed to get out of it, though. He goes, yes, it's real.
Yeah.
And Mozart just kind of goes, and that was God
Yeah.
telling Salieri,
You're going to hell.
I'm going to consign you to hell now.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, maybe.
And now,
It's so good.
the brilliance of this.
He
Where
pushes him to work
We
to death.
hear the instruments coming out of Mozart's head.
Oh, my God. It's
And Salieri cannot grasp it. He has to like.
It's like the voice of God shit.
Yes.
Yeah. For the last time,
He's not able to
life.
comprehend it. Mozart has to tell it to him like he's a child.
He has to
and
dumb it
has
down.
To, like work.
Guide him.
Yes, to even understand what's happening. You go too fast.
Yes.
Because Mozart is just that gifted.
That's it.
Yeah.
It's great.
It's utterly amazing. It's the scene here where it's Requiem, right? It's the death of Mozart. He's making music for his own death. But throughout the whole movie, each song was Mozart's that fit what was going on in the story.
Yeah.
Which, to have this be the finale is so utterly perfect that I think this moment transcends anything I've seen in film. I honestly believe that.
You think it's the best thing you ever saw?
It might be, yeah. Just because of the composition of the music in comparison to his real life and in comparison to the story is so well put together. And the villainy of it.
Yeah.
There's so much evil. You know?
Yeah.
But also so much beauty.
Yeah.
It's everything you want in a movie in compacted in a couple of minutes.
I think that's well said.
Thank you.
It's a great scene. Yep.
Mozart begs him for rest. So he gives it to him.
He's like, I can keep going.
Yeah, they both sleep. Like Salieri sleeping
sleeping
on
in
like a
his kid's
stool.
And that's what kind of confused me, right? When you think of somebody you're trying to kill, why would you sleep next to him?
Because
They're not done.
he needs the song finished.
Okay.
So he can pretend it's his.
Yes.
Because if Mozart keels over, he can't finish it the way Mozart can.
Right.
He needs Mozart, aka God,
Right.
to finish the song. And then Stanzi comes back,
And now plan's ruined.
and she's like throwing him out.
Like, get the fuck
And
out of
he's
here, guy
begging.
who was going to rape me.
And I love she's like, I wish I had, if only I had a servant to escort you out.
Why you? Because, madam, I was there.
And then it turns out Mozart's dead.
Yeah.
And we see Mozart's funeral, and then he's thrown into a mass grave.
Yes, because he's too poor to even
Cheap
have
wooden
his
casket.
Yep.
Yep.
his own grave. He doesn't even get to keep the casket. They just dump it.
Yeah. The maid is shown crying, regrets everything.
Everybody's there. All
The opera's
characters.
playing.
Yeah.
Like the finished
Requiem.
song is
Right.
playing.
But all know it's his.
Now, a little different. He was not buried in a unmarked mass grave. He was buried as a commoner, but it was still his own gravesite. That was actually, I think, dug up later on and moved to a better one.
They dug up his skeleton and they fucked it.
Like Red's mother.
Like
Like
Red's mother.
yes. And I do think it's obviously for the movie it's more powerful with the mass grave, but it's nice to know that he wasn't put in a mass grave.
Right.
And then we cut back to
A horrified priest.
the horrified priest and Salieri in a wheelchair saying, "Don't you see? God would rather kill one of his creatures than even let me share in the slightest bit of spotlight."
Yeah.
Basically,
And he blames God for Mozart's death.
I am the patron saint
Speaks
of
for all
mediocrities.
Yes.
I am the patron saint.
I will speak for you, Father.
And as he's being wheeled down the hallway, there's all like
I
the
absolve
decrepit
you.
people.
He's looking at the insane people. I absolve you.
Absolve you.
Yes.
You're all mediocre. And it is wow. Just wow.
And that's Amadeus.
Like
Masterpiece.
Masterpiece.
utterly brilliant. We probably could have spent like 10 hours talking about this. You could have gone scene by scene and
Yeah.
delved real deep. Highly recommended.
It's such an elevated, thematic movie.
Elevated?
It's elevated.
elevated, yeah.
It's fucking
It is.
elevated.
Too many minutes.
You think there was too many minutes?
Too many minutes.
Which minutes would you cut?
So
Remember the scene when I was watching it with a mind to try and figure out what would have been cut from the director's cut?
the tits.
The tip part.
I had the idea. Now, obviously, people have seen the theatrical cut of this movie, so they can just tell me I'm full of shit if they so desire. But the one I came up with was the scene where he goes back to the dog guy and begs for more work, and the dog guy just kind of shoos him away. It really doesn't add anything because that we
just
didn't
shows
know
more
already.
desperation.
You know, we even
Yeah.
forgot it existed when we were talking about the film here.
It just shows
So
more.
that was my idea.
There's 20-minute difference, actually.
Okay.
Salieri talks of his initial success in Vienna, a section was added where Salieri describes how he believed God accepted his vow and how he honored it, working hard, often for free, staying chaste, stuff like that. That's one of them. There's probably more that Brian can bring up.
It's not boys, just a thought.
I'm looking.
Yeah, there's a couple of things. There's actually a moment in the theater that's cut from the director's cut.
Oh, really?
Yeah, when he burns the crucifix, it cuts back to Salieri, and he says, "I will ruin your incarnation," which little things, little differences here.
I assume that some of the opera scenes probably got shaved.
Yeah, probably
They go on
shaved
a
time
list.
here. and there.
Yeah.
But I love every moment of that shit.
And I think that's one of the reasons we were able to kind of go through it quickly, because we didn't spend too much time talking about extended dance sequences.
Right.
You
Of
know,
Of course, yeah.
But you need them. They're great.
they're important.
Yeah.
Yeah, we skipped a decent amount of small takes. One thing that happened in this movie that I really enjoyed
The tits,
was
because
the
I
tits.
enjoyed the tits.
No, the B-roll shots of the town. So in the beginning,
Oh, Vienna is so beautiful looking.
beautiful. But in the beginning, you have B-roll shots, the same 3 or 4 shots, and you hear his music echoing through the streets.
I actually had that thought too, and what I love about this,
Yeah.
you understand the layout of the area so inherently well by the end,
Yeah.
because they keep repeating the same geography.
But you
You know, oh, that's that hill. That leads to this part. And usually in a movie, I don't get a sense of geography like that, but like you feel like you know the town. Like
Right.
this is here. When you walk down the hill, you're at Mozart's, you know, and like you kind of have the lay of the land just from that.
So there's 4 different shot times they do this, I believe. It could be 3. I think it's 4. The first time you hear the echoing of his music through the streets, because that's when his rise, you see him running through the streets in turmoil in his life. And then you see his family coming back to him, more turmoil. And then I believe at the end, it's quiet because he's dying.
Right. Well, there's the one scene where he's walking through like the streets of the town, just chugging a bottle.
Yeah. It's the same shots, though. It's the same exact shots.
streets, yeah.
Same streets, but different times in his life. And it's so well done because the streets don't change.
Right.
You know, the town is always going to be the town, and it says a lot. I love it. Love it.
Let me ask you guys a question.
Sure.
Is Salieri sympathetic? Is he the protagonist of the movie?
I
He's the villain.
definitely feel for him, and I sympathize with him at certain scenes. Like when he gets his chick stolen.
Yeah.
You know, you've been in the friend zone. You've seen.
Oh, yeah.
You've seen your girl go with the other.
Go with
guy.
the hot Mozart guy?
Yeah.
And you can't help but be like, "Fuck you."
When that happens, you
know?
just want to jounce the ledge.
You got to jounce it like you're in a separate piece.
Yeah.
Jounce the
I
branch.
jounce the ledge. The branch, yeah.
But other than that, I don't really. It doesn't resonate with me personally. The murderous intentions of jealousy. I'm happy to say I've never really experienced that. You said
Level of
that
rage,
you really.
violence.
I have at
You got
times
that.
for sure. You know, I've been bitter about like things and like my efforts and, you know, not being rewarded and stuff. And like, when is it going to be my time? You know, why don't I deserve this and this person does?
Why do I have? I don't know what this is from, but why do I have Ben Affleck?
He says that
when.
in Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back.
Okay.
Wow.
When, Lord, when's going to be my time?
Right.
That's funny.
I look in his son of a bitch in his poor eyes, and I say, "When, Lord? When's gonna be my
What are
time?"
you talking about?
It's at the beginning of Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back
About making the movie.
when they're talking about like asking him what's the internet and all that.
The fuck is the internet? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's in that scene, and he says, "You know, I look into this poor bastard's
funny.
doe eyes." And
He just said that line. And I heard it in the voice of Ben Affleck. I couldn't point my finger out.
well, you nailed it.
Yeah, it really speaks to the human experience on so many levels. It's so much.
There's very few people that ever get to be any sort of a Mozart. Like even like I'm not even talking on a global level, you know?
Historic level. Yeah.
Just like the best kid on your sports team, you know, that it comes naturally to,
But even
and you
then-
try harder.
Even the best kids on sports teams are going to be forgotten before Mozart.
But it's all relative to an individual experience. You know what I mean?
A talent like that happens once
Millennia.
But I'm
in
talking
1,000 years.
Obviously, yes.
If
When you look at it on a grander level, yes. But as far as individual jealousy, which is what the movie's really about, you know what I mean?
Sure, yeah.
It's like if you're a player on a baseball team and you fucking are trying harder than everybody, and there's some kid that's on your team that doesn't practice and is just naturally great, it's fucking torturous.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Or film or anything like that, you know? Like when you love something and it just doesn't
What's your story,
work.
Brian? Do you want to tell it?
I don't need to because it's just general shit. Like, I'm past that, but like, I've been jealous of people at times.
Is there something that popped in your head?
Just various shit. Like, when I was on the wrestling team, like, or when I did Taekwondo, like, I'm a Salieri. Like, I am never the.
You never get.
I don't know.
You tend to wallow in that line of thinking.
No. It's not that. Like, I am never the person where it just comes naturally and clicks for easily. Like, anything that I'm going to be even remotely successful at, and that success is so relative that I have to try my ass off to even get a little bit. I have no natural talent or ability. As much as I would like some, I'm a Salieri, you know, and I see people where it's like, they just do it. You know, I'm not that person.
And that's a little infuriating.
It is infuriating because you want it.
Makes you mad.
Makes you
Makes you want to burn it all down.
Makes you
Mad enough to kill Kyle.
What? No.
Oh, well, that's good.
Yeah, like
I think that really
But
is.
look, and I've been bitter, and I've been bitter at times, and like, you know, I've wanted bad things for people, and I've jounced a ledge or two in my day, probably because of this. But you know, as you get older and mature, you just have to realize that like you can only handle your shit, and you just got to do that the best you can. Salieri wasn't as mentally healthy as me.
No, clearly he killed Mozart in this.
He didn't though. God killed him.
He tried.
Yes.
He tried
to keep him from being killed by Salieri.
Yes, he definitely tried to kill him though. He didn't help with the process.
No, he definitely didn't help.
You know, but you could argue it was mainly his doing because the rumors led him down a dark path. You know, if Salieri didn't do what he did, Mozart has more success in the movie. In the movie. You know,
If he
who
didn't
knows
do
real life.
what I told him not to do, he'd still be
He'd
alive.
still be here alive today. He had a good point. So,
Mr. Blonde.
do you have a drawing?
I got a drawing.
You got a drawing?
Yeah. I'm curious if you guys will get this one.
Okay.
Let's see.
All right. Hold on. This
Okay.
is Geordie.
The Forge.
Yeah.
No.
Right?
Pen? Do you have a pen?
Right?
A pen?
Yeah.
No, I don't have
You're
one.
going to tell me that's not the glasses?
I could see what you're saying. What do you
Are
think
you
it
trying
is?
to... I think I know what it actually is.
What is it?
It's piano.
Yeah, it's a piano.
It also could be a
Never in a
stage.
million years.
That-
Never in a
You
million.
wouldn't think that's a piano?
You know what? Just because
Nope.
if
I don't know how he got that.
if I just showed you like the picture without anything, that's the only reason I got it because I have context.
Yeah, because you know it's
Right.
Amadeus.
That
I don't know what that is.
Brian, that might be the worst drawing.
I don't even. I like. He looks like nothing to me.
That might be
The
the
reason I
worst thing
asked
you've
for
ever
a
done.
pen is because if you put a line right here in the center,
Yeah.
the bottom half, to me it looks like a pair of legs and an ass in a Speedo. But it
right.
needs the line.
Yeah.
Without the line, I don't. It's nothing.
A pair of legs.
He's
and
so
an
right.
ass in the
He's
Speedo.
so right. Leg, ass. If you
Yeah.
put a little line
Yeah.
for the butt crack,
That's what I saw.
I'll add that. I'll add it for you in post.
Yeah, Brian's dying.
Dude.
I see it.
See it in your own drawing.
But I have no fucking clue what that is without that. I don't know what that is.
This is the worst thing you've ever done. This is the worst.
That's worse than the king?
The crown was really bad.
The caterpillar?
All right, at least I got this.
Yeah.
You know, it's
Because the
all right. This is the
Look at-
second worst
look at-
thing you've
look-
ever done.
Look at how it's curved. That's a nice ass.
It's certainly not flat.
Imagine if you went back and looked at all my drawings and they're
curves.
all asses.
It's got curve. It's got a little badonk there. Only the right ass cheek is down. The left is up.
Because it's straight up here and not curved at all.
Yeah.
It's a man's ass. See what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. Brian's self-portrait. Holy shit.
Yeah, I had the mirror out. I was looking. I was in my Speedo as I usually am.
That is insane. Oh my gosh. All right. I think without going into depth, I'm not going to explain more than I have. This is a 20 out of 10 for me. This is the best thing we've watched on this show. It's a 10 out of 10. It's a 10 out of 10. I wish I could rate it higher. That's how I feel about it.
10 out of 10.
I'm going to be the turd in the punch.
I'm going to do a 9.9.
No,
What do you got?
I'm going to go with a 9.
9.
Okay.
It's not perfect for me, but it's pretty damn close. It's a fucking masterpiece.
What did you take a point off of? Is there anything specific?
I couldn't nail it, but it just isn't a 10 for me.
I will go a step further, and I have thought about this for a while.
Sure.
This is my favorite film of the 1980s. I think it's the best of the decade.
Sure.
Agreed?
That might be the best of the century for me, man.
You really loved it that much.
Dude, I want to watch it again.
I think it's the best film of the 1980s.
It's so good. Like, it's...
Brian's going to disagree.
He's gonna
gonna
disagree.
say, like, Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Yeah, he's going to say some fucking popcorn culture
Back to
bullshit.
the Future. No, it's going to be some popcorn Spielberg garbage.
You're goddamn right.
Here we
Yeah,
go. What is it,
exactly.
Brian?
Yeah.
It's probably Back to the Future.
Jesus Christ.
Or Raiders.
This is-
Just be thankful I didn't say View to a Kill. James Bond invents snowboarding in that movie, okay?
Oh, yeah?
Yeah,
That's the Depeche Mode one?
Depeche
Oh,
Mode.
Duran Duran.
Yeah, Duran. He gets a,
That's snowboarding.
he invents snowboarding, yeah. He gets like a beam almost, right? And he goes down it alone, like surfing down the mountain, and they play Beach Boys.
Wait.
Why?
Invents snowboarding?
Yeah.
Skiing has been around for
Snowboarding,
centuries.
Snowboarding wasn't.
Nobody just made a board?
No, James Bond invented it.
Or they had sleighs.
Marty
Sleighs.
McFly invents skateboarding in
Yeah.
Back to the Future too. Did you know that?
Yeah.
Also, he invented hoverboard skating.
Well, that was he took that from the future. He didn't invent that, but he went back to
Yeah.
the 50s and he broke that kid's
That's
stupid
right.
wooden scooter, and then he used it to skateboard. Oh no, it was the first one, not the
That's the
second
first one, yeah. He
Yeah.
he doesn't do it again in the second one.
No,
He has the hoverboard.
he does the hoverboard and he gives the pit bull to that little girl.
No, thanks. I got a pit bull now.
Yeah, right.
All right, that's it, guys.
Yeah.
Those boats don't work on water.
That's good.
You need power. You gotta tell me that's not one of the best movies of the 80s? Come on, Brad.
Thank you for watching, for listening, and tell the people what to
Subscribe. Ring the bell. Ring the bell like Salieri calling a servant
do. While I'm
to
naked,
insult a man's wife with her tits out.
while my balls are out, I want you to call a servant.
Yes.
Ready, guys? Buckle
No,
in,
I'm not.
audience.
No.
Here we go.
Buckle up, buckaroos.
You fast forward 10 minutes, he'll still be talking.
just- Why don't you pre-record this?
Because sometimes comedy arises as we're doing it.
We just insult you.
As long as it's funny, I don't care. All right. Well, thank you all for listening and or watching. Well, I got to get ready.
You need to. You need your lung capacity for this.
Like and subscribe on YouTube. Please.
said that.
I like to say it again. You got to really hammer it home.
No, you have to stick to the bullet points, otherwise your whole speech is fucked up.
Want to give a big thank you to Tom, Steve, Dave, Bry, Walt, Q, Get 'em, letting us record down in the studio. It's always appreciated. What else? Oh, follow us on all social media. Reviewing History Pod, RView History Pod on Twitter, Reviewing History Pod everywhere else. Go to reviewinghistorypod.com to buy some merch. Follow me personally on all social media at Brian Rupert. Follow me on Letterboxd at Rank Review every single movie I watch. Give us a rating or review on Apple iTunes, Spotify. Helps potential sponsors find the show. Thank you so much. We will see you next time. Bye.